We've got to keep pushing to prepare for the impacts of climate change because it's science. It's a fact. It's like gravity. Audience member, yes, it is. President Obama, it is. A lot of cities have gone far ahead of states on this issue along with states. You're making a difference right now. You're not waiting for Congress. Mayor Roy Bowl is here from Dubuque, Iowa. They've set a target to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions 50% from 2003 levels by the end of the next decade. Just met with Governor Jerry Brown. He's talking about how California which so often has been a leader on environmental issues, is looking to partner and make a difference internationally. Today, my administration proposed new fuel standards for buses and tractor-trailers and other heavy-duty vehicles. Another important step towards reducing harmful carbon pollution and protecting our planet. But a lot of this does come down to Congress. I know many of you are worried about Congress cutting. Programs that are important to your city's economic growth. But the battle we should be having with Congress isn't just about individual programs. It's about the foolish. Self-destructive cuts that in Washington are known as the sequester, because with the sequester, the whole pie is smaller, so protecting one program means cutting another one. That's why you're facing cuts that don't make any sense to things like Tiger grants. Which you all know are so important to putting our people to work rebuilding our infrastructure. That's the reason why it's so hard for us to get the funding we need to get homeless assistance grants. Which help some of our most vulnerable neighbors and get them off the streets. That's why it's been so difficult to fund the preschool development grants. Which help educate our children, which we know if we make that investment will pay off for your cities, your states, and for our country. I've been clear, I will not sign bills at sequestration levels. I will not sign bills that seek to increase defense spending before addressing any of our needs here at home. And I need your help. I need your help, mayors, to talk to your members of Congress to get rid of the sequester once and for all, because it is harming our cities and harming our country. There is no business, no successful business, that if it needed to reduce spending, would simply lop off 10% of everything. Or 15% of everything. That's not how any of us would run our household budget. You'd cut out things you don't need, but you'd still keep the college fund going. You'd still pay your health insurance bill and your mortgage note. There are things we have to do as a country to stay ahead. Once again, mayors understand that if there's a conflict between ideology and reality, you should opt for reality. Reality is a stubborn thing: facts, evidence, reason. So, thanks for your partnership. I want you to know that as long as I'm in the White House, I've got your back. I love the country, I love the suburbs, but I'm a city guy. And I know that when cities thrive, suburbs thrive. And when cities thrive, farmlands thrive. And when cities thrive, states thrive. And when cities thrive, America thrives. You guys are making it happen. I enjoy working with each and every one of you. And I know that each of you takes pride in what makes your hometown unique. You may be proud of your pizza, or your hoagies. Or your barbecue, even though everybody knows Chicago has the best pizza. You may be proud of your city's victory parades, even though we got a Black Hawk parade that's pretty good. I'm sure you're all very proud of your parks. We've got nice parks. Or the number of sunny days you've got, which we enjoy half the year. Chances are you've got a few superlatives ready in case somebody asks, what makes your city so special? That's what mayors do. You're boosters. Yet as unique as your cities are, as proud as you should be of your cities. We always remind ourselves we're also Americans. And we all want America to be a place where our zip code does not determine our destiny, where every kid, in whatever city, whatever hamlet, whatever town, has an equal shot at life when they grow up. No matter who you are or where you come from, you can make it if you try. That's what America is about. That's what you're fighting for every day. And I'm going to fight right there alongside with you. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless America. Barack Obama. Merrick Garland USSC nomination address. Delivered March 16, 2016, Rose Garland, White House, Washington, D. C. Of the many powers and responsibilities that the Constitution vests in the presidency. Few are more consequential than appointing a Supreme Court justice, particularly one to succeed Justice Scalia. One of the most influential jurists of our time. The men and women who sit on the Supreme Court are the final arbiters of American law. They safeguard our rights. They ensure that our system is one of laws and not men. They're charged with the essential task of applying principles put to paper more than 2 centuries ago to some of the most challenging questions of our time. So this is not a responsibility that I take lightly. It's a decision that requires me to set aside short-term expediency and narrow politics. So as to maintain faith with our founders and, perhaps more importantly, with future generations. That's why, over the past several weeks, I've done my best to set up a rigorous and comprehensive process. I've sought the advice of Republican and Democratic members of Congress. We've reached out to every member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, to constitutional scholars, to advocacy groups. To bar associations, representing an array of interests and opinions from all across the spectrum. And today, after completing this exhaustive process, I've made my decision. I've selected a nominee who is widely recognized not only as one of America's sharpest legal minds, but someone who brings to his work a spirit of decency, modesty, integrity, even-handedness, and excellence. These qualities, and his long commitment to public service, have earned him the respect and admiration of leaders from both sides of the aisle. He will ultimately bring that same character to bear on the Supreme Court. An institution in which he is uniquely prepared to serve immediately. Today, I am nominating Chief Judge Merrick Brian Garland to join the Supreme Court. Now, in law enforcement circles, and in the legal community at large, Judge Garland needs no introduction. But I'd like to take a minute to introduce Merrick to the American people, whom he already so ably serves. He was born and raised in the land of Lincoln in my hometown of Chicago, in my home state of Illinois. His mother volunteered in the community, his father ran a small business out of their home. Inheriting that work ethic, Merrick became valedictorian of his public high school. He earned a scholarship to Harvard, where he graduated summa cum laude. And he put himself through Harvard Law School by working as a tutor, by stocking shoes in a shoe store, and in what is always a painful moment for any young man, by selling his comic book collection. It's tough. Been there. Merrick graduated magna cum laude from Harvard Law. And the early years of his legal career bear all the traditional marks of excellence. He clerked for two of President Eisenhower's judicial appointees, first for a legendary judge on the Second Circuit. Judge Henry Friendly, and then for Supreme Court Justice William Brennan. Following his clerkships, Merrick joined a highly regarded law firm. With a practice focused on litigation and pro bono representation of disadvantaged Americans. Within 4 years, he earned a partnership, the dream of most lawyers. But in 1989, just months after that achievement, Merrick made a highly unusual career decision. He walked away from a comfortable and lucrative law practice to return to public service. Merrick accepted a low-level job as a federal prosecutor in President George H. W. Bush's administration. He took a 50% pay cut. Traded in his elegant partner's office for a windowless closet that smelled of stale cigarette smoke. This was a time when crime here in Washington had reached epidemic proportions, and he wanted to help. And he quickly made a name for himself, going after corrupt politicians and violent criminals. His sterling record as a prosecutor led him to the Justice Department. Where he oversaw some of the most significant prosecutions in the 1990s, including overseeing every aspect of the federal response to the Oklahoma City bombing. In the aftermath of that act of terror, when 168 people, many of them small children, were murdered, Merrick had one evening to say goodbye to his own young daughters before he boarded a plane to Oklahoma City. And he would remain there for weeks. He worked side by side with first responders. Rescue workers, local and federal law enforcement. He led the investigation and supervised the prosecution that brought Timothy McVeigh to justice.